Many of you had stuff to do, so go ahead.
Doctor, do you have like a website or a resource, like if we can know
Say
more?
that again. I can't hear you.
Do you have a website or a
Do I have
resource
a
that we can?
website?
Yeah,
I don't. I
or
used
a personal page
Yeah,
on.
I have a like Facebook page. I tweet like everybody does, and there's a page we made for objective thinking. It's called Objective Thinking on Facebook. Uh, but basically, I try to do it on my own Facebook. Try to get things like this going on. I'll give you the in fact the here. I didn't put it in the beginning, but this is where it's. Is it up there? So this is my Facebook, basically. You have any other questions? Yeah, he's got a question. He has a question.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. So the point of your, I was a bit late in the beginning
Yeah,
to come to your lecture. The point of it was that bias and illusion can lead to malreasoning, if I understand. And
hmm
then you expanded on each of
right.
the of the.
Bias is natural. However, I mean, we're all biased. We could be biased. It's okay as long as we control it. But if it becomes excessive, it becomes that you're living in a world of illusion where you think everything is a conspiracy, everything around you is one-sided. It's one-sided mentality and so forth. If this continues to go on, you become very prejudiced. You exaggerate everything around you, and you can no longer develop a reaction that is a balanced reaction because all your and we know it. Somebody writes a book, and we don't like it. What do we do with the book? We burn it. We go out and demonstrate. So all the reactions are imbalanced reactions. So this becomes very very easy to predict. You become somebody that is known what he's going to say of any simple solution. So or any simple matter, as a matter of fact. So what I'm trying to say is that we should be aware of this. That's why I went through them in detail. So we understand bias is there, but we shouldn't be biased when there's no need to be biased. We should be fair, even if it is against ourselves. There's another lecture which is called Methodology of Objectivity that deals with those issues as well. And there's another one is trying to reach the truth, and then once you reach the truth, how to deal with it as well. This is the last one usually I give, which is the errors of thinking. So, and we meet those. I meet those people day in, day out. We talk, and once you start knowing, so you're discussing the Arab Spring, and somebody tells you this is all fabrication. It's all the work of America. What does America have to do with this? Nobody knew this was coming. Nobody knew this was coming. Even the guys that were in Tahrir Square, they were puzzled. I know because I was getting phone calls from Tahrir Square at that time. Says one of my friends said, we're there. We're like a million people. Even if it ends today, I've seen something. I've seen it one time in my life. I'm ready to. Uh, I'm so happy for it. It happened. Even if we go home today, but of course they continued until it was the end. Any other questions? You can ask. It's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's just that, like the topic is really good and everything, but the foundation of all of this is unconscious actions. Like we have prejudices, we have bias, we have double standards, but it's unconscious. So bringing it to awareness is great, but what I really want to know is these are unconscious thoughts. How do you really know how to control them? How do you really know when it's wrong? And there is a fear that if you try to control yourself so much, you just be passive. When do you draw the line that this is a pure prejudice and this is, I don't know if I can
Those
structure.
are not unconscious. They were ingrained in us. That's what you got from the society, from your family, from your friends at school, and so forth. So, but sometimes they go unnoticed. Like for example, diabetes. Diabetes is sukari, okay? It means you have high sugar in your blood, and it's destroying everywhere. It's destroying the vessels of the eye, the vessels of the periphery, the vessels of the heart, the vessels of the brain. And of course, One of the most difficult things in medicine, in us, I'm a doctor, is when I go and treat a disease that doesn't have symptoms. That means, okay, the patient has high blood pressure. I know what's going to happen in 20 years if that blood pressure doesn't get controlled, but the patient is not feeling anything. So even if we control the blood pressure, they didn't feel they've done anything. But I know what's going. That patient, if the blood pressure got controlled, they're not going to go into dialysis, meaning they have an artificial kidney, they might get less heart attacks, they won't get a stroke, and so forth. Same thing with cholesterol. Okay, how am I going to convince somebody to take a pill every day who have very high cholesterol? What am I going to tell that patient? And number one, that pill might be expensive, and they don't feel anything. It's just getting their cholesterol down. So compare, for example, prejudice to cholesterol. How are we going to do that? Number one, I have to realize that my cholesterol is high. So what does a high cholesterol do? It can block the heart, it can cause a heart attack, a stroke, and so forth. Then I have to go ahead, and this is what I do. I talk to that patient when I say they're really reluctant because they don't feel anything. I tell them, well, studies have shown that those who have high cholesterol and they get treated, among that population, they live longer. So if you want to attend the wedding of your daughter and the graduation of your son, for example, and getting a grandchild, take this medicine. Oh, then they take it, because now you've just opened a glimpse in the future for them. And the same thing, if you want to live with prejudice, you get miserable. You don't see anything. You're the best because you're rich. But you're not the best. One of the most gratifying things is going to a poor person and helping that person. You feel something no one else has felt. And it goes on forever, even if you do it with one person, for example. But imagine that you're rich and snobby and arrogant. That's even worse. So those are things, yes, they go into the unconscious. But here is a way, like a doctor is telling you, okay, they are there, and all of us suffer from them. Not only you, not only me, all of us do. It's natural to be prejudiced, but it is also good to understand, realize, and go back. And it's just yesterday we were in a heated debate with us consultants and specialists, and I said a word. I didn't mean anything with it, but then everybody was like, "How dare did you say that?" I said, "I didn't mean this," and then luckily the chairman saved me from what I said. He said, I understand exactly what he means. He means that the patient needs one boss, and that boss is one doctor. You can't have more than one doctor treating the same patient at the same time, for example. So some people understood this as a statement of prejudice. Well, as soon as I uttered it, I thought, oh my God, I said something that people are not going to understand now. But luckily, my chairman saved me. And even my friend told me then, said, you were saved by the chairman for saying that. So you start developing this awareness of when you exaggerate, okay? We all exaggerate. That's okay. But if that's your daily living of exaggerating, you need to start paying attention to that, because exaggeration is like everything is exaggerated. We know them. We know that this person exaggerates. So who told you that? Oh, so-and-so. They exaggerate. We know who exaggerates and who doesn't. So I hope this helps. Okay. Hello? I can't hear you.
Okay. My simple question is, do you think Arabs are underestimating conspiracy or overestimating conspiracy?
Oh, you should not overestimate or underestimate.
Okay, the fact is, do Arabs overestimate or underestimate conspiracy theory?
No, we overestimate.
Yes.
We overestimate conspiracy. So it's like everything is a conspiracy. That's overestimating conspiracy. Underestimating conspiracy is you might come and tell people, okay, there are people conspiring against you. No. And I know this happened, for example, at the time when Egypt and Syria were unified. At the time after the Syrians ceased from unity, and they did that because they were treated unfairly. Somebody came to the leadership and said, somebody's plotting a coup. Said, we don't have any evidence. So they didn't pay attention to, and in fact, somebody was planning and plotting for a coup. And they put them all in jail. So that was underestimating conspiracy because you don't have a proof. It means that you understand there's conspiracy, but that's not what drives history. What drives history is tadafur, is that there are peoples like shu'ub, and all of them have interest, and they all struggle, okay? And they not fight by, clash, okay? But it's just like they go into each other, so it's tadafur. So, and this thing causes peace, by the way. When you have two strong powers, even if they both have nuclear arm, they're not going to use them. It's just to deter the other part of using, the other side of using them. So this is what I mean by it. Any other questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
So on behalf of my EC, we'd like to thank Dr. Tarek Abou Ghazala for his time and for the great lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'd like to give you this small gift
Thank you very much.
as